Alright guys, out in the shop today trying to get a few e-bikes repaired. Already got one down, the Aventon, I don't know how to pronounce that company. I've seen a lot of the tan men's bikes, the 26x4 fat tire bikes with the Aventon. This is the 26-inch regular, size tires. Pretty big down tube though here with the battery in it, and just some nice features, like it's just got a nice color screen on it, decent headlight, integrated brake lights back here, as you see, light up right back there and on the sides when you hold in both brakes. Nice little bike. So this one just had a problem with the stem here, since the headlight goes through this bracket and into the stem. You see the blue Loctite there. They thought it was stripped out, but it just wasn't in properly and in all the way. So just got to really be careful with who's putting these together, and don't trust anyone. Get any bike home and just go over every single bolt. Just do it yourself. So this left thumb throttle, kind of different. Most of them will be like a twist throttle, or at least a right thumb throttle. That's kind of weird that it's a left thumb throttle. And then there's the other two bikes in the family. So that's the mom's bike. This is the dad's. Put a little sticker on it. And then the son's bike. The son's bike is the most trashed of the three. So, not too much wear and tear back there. This one's hardly been ridden. And versus that, and you should see, his chain, not too many miles on it, just ridden hard. But these Rad Power bikes, we got bad brakes, issues with needing brake bleed kits right away. This one's not even at 125 miles, and I already need to bleed the brakes for this customer. So just be careful with some of these manufactured bikes. Rad Power bikes seems to be good. Decent quality. They don't go like cheap on everything. You even got this nice solid setup there for like a basket and stuff like that, potentially. But still, I could still build you a better bike that's going to last longer and be easy to replace batteries, versus this is an integrated battery inside of the tube, and you have to get their specific battery versus just getting your standard down tube battery and replacing it. So on to today's video. Here is the Freego bike. This bike has been here for a few weeks. I tried my best to diagnose the issue. Customer popped the back tire tube, replaced it, got everything back on, and the motor's only going like, not even like a quarter of the speed. Like, there's a power indicator here on the controller. Here, let me just throw this on real quick. Pop the battery in. Alright, got the battery installed there, so let's hold down. Thought it was the power button. It was not the power button. Oh. Make sure you turn your battery on first. There we go. Alright, so as you can see here, I put a brand new throttle on it to eliminate the throttle. And this is full throttle. And we're going 8 miles an hour. And you can see that power indicator bar will, well, it usually does. I guess not on camera. But it'll start to like fill up and then disappear. No, not at all. So, and then this is the original throttle that it came with. Like, very, very cheap. Even cheaper than these, standard like Bafang, $19 throttles. All right, so I just told the customer, so I've already put a few hours into this. I've checked all the sensors. I've checked it might just be a hall sensor issue. Could be a issue with the controller, motor, phase wire, who knows. I've done enough work into it and messed with the wires enough to know that this would have taken a while to diagnose and try to repair, and then at the very end it still might not be working properly. So I went ahead and told him I found this front hub kit on Amazon for like $210. Nice large controller, so it's more amps than his current controller, and then a 1,000-watt front hub. So we're just going to take this tire and tube off, throw it onto this, put the front hub on, and call it a day. Just make it a front hub motor. That'll just be back there just for a free spinning wheel. Going to get rid of that controller, and then obviously use the original battery. And the great thing about this, the Freego bike here, like I told him, like it was so much worth getting a new kit and trying versus the standard motor was like, the cheapest one we found was like $400 for that. And that's ridiculous. So it's only like I forget how many watt. Not very many watt rear hub. So, like I said, if eventually he hits a bump and all of a sudden that's working again, great. And then we can make it all-wheel drive. So, I think we made a good choice. And go ahead and just throw this front kit on. And I will show you here once it's done. Alright, fitting the new hub on the Freego bike. And it's working out great. I mean, look at this thing. Massive. Just a massive motor compared to that tiny little thing that it comes with stock. I believe this is a 500 watt. I mean, if anything, it might be a 750. But this is a 1,000 watt. As you can see here. 48 volt, 1,000 watt. I mean, just a nice, massive front hub motor. I like a front hub. It drives a little different. It's nice to have. Here's a 2,000 watt front hub motor on a 26x4. It's an all-wheel drive bike that I have. I got my sidecar for my doggy. But the Bafang powers the back, but the front is so nice to have. It's got its own separate twist throttle, which I think is this twist. Oh no, this one came with a half throttle. But it's nice to just twist that throttle and do a burnout when you're still like moving 15 or 20 miles an hour. It's just so fun. So, all right, I'm gonna get the tube and tire onto the new wheel. It looks like everything's gonna be perfect. It's almost like it was made for this. I've got a torque arm that I'm going to put on here, or use the little torque arm thing. And yeah, I might use that smaller one. Be like the first time I ever used that one. Just drop it. Oh yeah, that's on the wrong way. So it slides right into that axle, that front axle, so that's great. And here's the rest of the kit. Half twist. It's a pretty large controller. I'm not sure if I'm going to do the pedal assist. I just don't know what I'm doing exactly yet. I'm just going to use this as a separate twist throttle, just in case this works. Because I might run the battery to both controllers and use pedal assist off the back, and then he can, because the pedal assist is working fine, it's just the throttle response isn't there. And yes, I've tried a brand new throttle. I've tried 2 different new throttles that are knowingly working on other vehicles. So I thought this was the best option, and honestly, for $210 and just to pay me for a little labor, this bike is going to be awesome. So let's get this thing put together roughly, then we can, zip tie it, make it look all nice and fancy tomorrow. Let's just get this thing up and running. Alright, it's about 15 minutes later roughly, and this is the most difficult part, is just getting everything lined back up, and his fender is messed up. So over here I had to put one washer in there before the other washer, and then that fits perfectly. And you've got these kind of removable like rubber on the nuts, so you can just tighten them by hand, take it off by hand if need be. But I'm going to put the small little torque arm in there, so that'll go over and then attach right there, and then that way if these snap at the forks, like right here, if they snap, your wheel will stay on and you won't go flying over top of your handlebars. So it's nice that they have that hole cut out already, so I'm going to use those small ones. And I was able to fit the one spacer in here. And what you're going to want to do is you have to take out these two bolts on the side for your brake caliper, and then you're going to want to back them out about that much. So then I'm going to have to get spacers to keep that to stay right there, and it clears perfectly. It does not hit the motor, but I mean, you're talking like barely. So I still might put a spacer from the rotor and extend it over. Yeah, it came with this spacer already to kind of, be sitting there on the tire emulating, I think, the disc brake itself. So I'm going to go ahead and put that back on behind the rotor so that, it pops out this way more. And then our spacing will be done. So, like I said, that's kind of the hardest part, is clearing a new brake caliper, doing a front hub. Like on this front hub, a little different when you've got V-style brakes. So, disc brakes, not as quick and easy, but it's just a matter of taking your time and putting the right amount of spacers in. So, alright, I'll check back with you tomorrow, and hopefully we get this thing finished off. I'm going to call it a night on this and start bleeding some brakes. Alright, the 20x4 Freego bike I thought was completed. I did a lot of work trying to get the spacing right on this. I got the torque arms on the front hub. I worked on the spacing here to get the wheel and brake set up perfectly, and for the caliper not to rub against the motor. And I thought all was well. I thought everything was going good. I taped the new controller up underneath from here, hooked it up, and it worked, but it still wasn't going very fast. It was just slowly, for a 1,000 watt motor, it wasn't turning over as fast as it should. Come to find out, the BMS on the battery is probably shutting off or allowing something not to work properly. So it is the battery after all this. So it seems like everything is in working condition. The controller, the motor. I put another 48 volt battery on and it works great. So unfortunately, the first thing I tested is actually what is wrong. So I got, I put my voltmeter on it. It was showing, it was 50 something volts, so it's a 48 volt battery. Charged at like 80% or something like that. It wasn't at full percent, but still seemed fine. The little power thing at the top was cutting out, like I said, and I was like, well, it's got to be the throttle or it's got to be something like that. Oh, it's not. It turns out it is the battery on this. So I'm going to get with the customer and see what they'd like to do, considering now we have a front hub on there for really no reason when that back hub was fine. Unfortunately, this is still kind of an industry that's it's a guessing game, and sometimes you just got to replace parts. Like I said, at least we got this off of Amazon and could simply return stuff just like the throttle that's in that package there. I'm not going to get too close for names and addresses and stuff. But yeah, unfortunately not a happy ending here with this Freego 20x4 bike, or not a happy ending so far. So we'll have to see if the customer wants to go ahead and get a new battery, and where they'd like to go from here. So thanks for watching. Hopefully I can help you guys out there that might have this Freego bike and might be having any difficulties with it. It seems like this charger also is not working properly. It's what the bike came with, customer said, so I'm not sure if that's the original charger to this original battery, but it seems to be, and it's not working properly. So battery and charger failing at the same time. I don't know what's going on. So I think it's probably the BMS inside the battery. That would be my guess. So thanks for watching, and subscribe if you're not. Take care. Peace out. Have a great day.